This video features the installation of our street kit. However, kits are available in different configurations based on the torque being produced at the crankshaft and your style of driving. The installation procedure will be the same except for the disc being used. For a complete list of kits and their full details and specifications, please visit our website. While this video provides the basics on how to replace a clutch and flywheel, it is in no way intended to replace a factory service manual. In the trunk of the vehicle, disconnect the negative battery cable and pull it away from the terminal so it does not make accidental contact. Unbolt and remove the heat shields from the catalytic converters. Disconnect the oxygen sensor connectors. Remove the rubber isolators from the exhaust hangers located at the rear of the exhaust center section. Place a stand under the exhaust. Unfasten the flanges connecting the catalytic converters to the exhaust manifolds. Remove the ground wire connected to the hanger of the right rear muffler. Unfasten the left rear muffler hangers from the vehicle's body. Remove the exhaust assembly from the vehicle. Remove the heat shield from the center of the vehicle. Unbolt the front and rear couplers of the driveshaft. Before removing the driveshaft, make sure to mark the driveshaft couplers and both transmission and differential flanges so that it can be installed in the same position. Unbolt the driveshaft center bearing and remove the driveshaft. Unbolt and remove the starter. Unplug all electrical connectors and disengage the harness from the transmission. Remove the clip securing the hydraulic hose to the concentric slave cylinder and then remove and cap the hose. Remove the shifter rod bolt, then separate the linkage from the shifter rod. Disengage and remove the two roll pins securing the shifter bracket to the transmission. Unfasten the bolt holding the shifter linkage to the transmission shift rail and then remove the linkage. Unbolt and remove the inspection cover. Place a jack under the transmission. Remove all the bell housing bolts. Unbolt the transmission crossmember. Making sure everything has been disconnected, disengage the transmission from the engine and slowly lower it to avoid any damage to any wiring or hoses. Unbolt and remove the old pressure plate and discs. Unbolt and remove the old flywheel. Using the installation instructions included with the clutch kit, disassemble the clutch assembly and take note of the balance marks. Also, clean the pressure plate, floater, and flywheel friction surface areas with a non-petroleum based cleaner. Although not included in our kit, we recommend replacing the pilot bearing before installing your new clutch assembly. This can be sourced from your local dealership. We also recommend replacing the concentric slave cylinder, which is also not included in our kit. This can also be sourced from your local dealership. Unbolt and remove the old concentric slave cylinder. Clean the transmission input shaft. Lightly coat the input shaft splines with the lube included in your kit. Install a disc onto the input shaft and work the lube into the splines. Then remove the disc and wipe off any excess lube from the disc to prevent contamination of the clutch kit. Install a new concentric slave cylinder and tighten the bolts to 15 foot-pounds. Before installing the clutch assembly, make sure the transmission spacer is in position. Align the offset bolt hole in the flywheel with the offset bolt hole in the crankshaft, and install the flywheel with new OEM flywheel bolts and a small amount of thread locking compound. Tighten the bolts in a star pattern until they are snug. Torque the bolts also in a star pattern to 55 foot-pounds. Once again, clean the flywheel friction surface area with a non-petroleum based cleaner. Set the bottom disc in position, making sure the hub is facing correctly down into the flywheel. Hold the disc in position using the alignment tool. Fit the already cleaned floater over the bottom disc, making sure to align the balance marks with the balance marks on the flywheel. With a drop of thread locking compound on them, install the floater bolts and tighten them to 24 foot-pounds. Make sure the spacers and correct number of shims are ready for installation under the pressure plate. Remove the alignment tool from the bottom disc. Insert the alignment tool into the top disc and then place the top disc in position, making sure the hub is facing correctly away from the flywheel. If not already done, clean the pressure plate friction surface with a non-petroleum based cleaner. Place the pressure plate in position. Install and tighten the pressure plate bolts in a star pattern until they are all snug. Remove the alignment tool. Torque the pressure plate bolts in a star pattern to 24 foot-pounds. Lift the transmission back into place and support it with a jack. Install the bell housing bolts and torque the top 4 bolts to the engine to 30 foot-pounds, the bottom 2 bolts to the engine to 50 foot-pounds, and the bottom 4 bolts to the oil pan to 22 foot-pounds. Install the inspection cover and tighten the hardware. Install the starter and tighten the bolts to 40 foot-pounds. Reconnect the wiring and connector. Reconnect the electrical connectors to the transmission and secure the wire harness back in position on the transmission. Make sure to reconnect any ground wires that were removed. Remove the cap and install the hydraulic line to the concentric slave cylinder. Make sure it is secured with a retaining clip. Install the shifter linkage to the transmission shift rail and tighten the bolt. Install the shifter linkage to the shifter rod and tighten the bolt. Position the shifter bracket into the transmission and install the roll pins. Twist to lock them into position. Check the fluid level in the brake master cylinder reservoir. If the brake fluid level is not up to the step in the reservoir, add the recommended brake fluid. Not shown in the video, bleed the clutch system by depressing and releasing the clutch pedal. Be certain the clutch pedal returns to the uppermost position while bleeding the clutch system. Please note that it may take as many as 200 strokes of the clutch pedal to properly bleed the clutch system. Continue checking the fluid level while depressing and releasing the clutch pedal. Depress and release the clutch pedal until an appropriate clutch pedal response and feel is achieved. Lift the transmission and install the crossmember bolts. Tighten the bolts to 45 foot-pounds and then remove the jack or stand. Using the marks made during disassembly to index the driveshaft, align the marks and place the driveshaft in position. Install the hardware at the rear, at the center bearing, and at the front. Tighten the hardware at the center bearing to 20 foot-pounds. Tighten the front driveshaft hardware to 115 foot-pounds. Tighten the rear driveshaft hardware to 150 foot-pounds. Install the heat shield at the center of the vehicle and tighten the hardware. Set the exhaust up in position. Install the rear muffler hangers to the vehicle's body and then reconnect the ground strap to the hanger of the right rear muffler. Install the nuts for the flanges connecting the catalytic converters to the exhaust manifolds. Install the hangers into the rubber isolators at the center of the exhaust. Tighten the nuts for the flanges connecting the catalytic converters to the exhaust manifolds to 30 foot-pounds and install any heat shields that may have been removed. Plug in the electrical connectors for the oxygen sensors. Reconnect and tighten the negative battery cable. For more information on our products or the parts featured in this video, please visit our website in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.